All right, let's talk about something we've all been through. You have this brilliant idea, right? It's perfectly clear in your head. But then you try to explain it to someone, and all you get back is a blank stare. It's so frustrating. Today, we're going to break down exactly why that happens, and, way more importantly, how to fix it. So let's dive in.
So let's start with that feeling. You've laid out your idea, you're passionate, you feel like you've been perfectly clear, but it just doesn't land. What is going on there? Why do even our best, most thought-out explanations sometimes just completely fail?
You know what I'm talking about. You use all the right words, you've got the energy, you know the concept inside and out, and you get nothing back. Listen, that's not you failing. It's a communication gap, and it happens to absolutely everyone.
And here's the real key. The problem isn't your idea. It's not that your idea is bad. It's that it's abstract. It's floating up there in the clouds, in the world of concepts. For anyone else to get it, you have to bring it down to earth. You have to make it concrete, give them something they can actually grab onto.
The good news? We have two super simple but really powerful tools to do just that. Seriously, these are the keys to unlocking your ideas and turning them from these fuzzy concepts into something clear and actionable for anyone.
So think of it like this. Your new communication toolkit has two main instruments. First, you've got illustration. That's all about showing people what your idea looks like in the real world. And second, you've got classification. This is all about sorting your idea into different types or categories. Showing and sorting. That's it. Simple, right? Okay, let's dig into illustration first. This is basically the art of making the invisible visible. It's how you take a big, abstract word like resilience or innovation and give it a body. You turn it into a story, a specific situation, something your audience can actually picture in their minds and connect with.
And then we have classification. This is your secret weapon for bringing order to chaos. You get to take a big, messy, tangled-up idea and neatly organize it. You reveal its hidden structure, and suddenly, everything makes sense.
So let's stick with illustration for a minute, because this is where most people make a really critical mistake. A lot of us think that just dropping an example is enough. But there's a huge difference between just listing an example and truly explaining it.
And this difference is everything. A weak illustration just kind of throws an example out there and hopes for the best. But a strong illustration, it does the real work. It breaks down the example and shows you exactly how and why it proves the point. The insight isn't in the example itself, it's in the explanation.
So, for instance, here's a weak illustration. Yeah, okay, it's technically correct, but does it really help you understand resilience? Not really. It just names a scenario without showing us what resilience actually looks like when it's happening.
Now look at this, a strong illustration. See how it slows things down? It shows the process, the struggle, the small steps forward. It redefines resilience, not as some superpower, but as the real human capacity to move through something hard. Now you don't just hear the word, you can almost feel what it's like. That's the difference.
And don't forget, you have so many options for these strong illustrations. You can pull from case studies, things happening in the news right now, research, a personal story, or you can even create a hypothetical scenario to make your point crystal clear.
Okay, let's switch gears to our second tool, classification. If illustration gives your idea depth by zooming in, classification gives it breadth by creating a map of the whole concept. This is the tool that creates that aha moment when a really confusing idea suddenly clicks into place.
So when should you use this? Well, classification is perfect for those common words we use all the time that actually lump together a bunch of totally different experiences. Think about words like success or loneliness, or the one we're going to look at, busyness.
Yeah, let's talk about busyness. We all say it, I'm so busy. But think about it, is all busyness the same? Is the student who's totally absorbed in a project they love experiencing the same thing as someone who's frantically running around just to avoid their own thoughts? Of course not.
And this is where the magic happens. We can take this one vague word, busyness, and break it down. You've got productive busyness, where you're working toward a goal that matters to you. Then there's performative busyness, which is all about looking busy for other people. And finally, you have avoidant busyness, which is really just a way to distract yourself from something you don't want to feel. See? Instantly, a vague complaint becomes a powerful diagnostic tool.
And this really matters. It's not just an interesting thought exercise. If someone is experiencing avoidant busyness, the solution isn't a new productivity app, right? The solution is to figure out what they're avoiding. Understanding the type of problem is the only way to find the right solution.
So we've walked through the power of illustration and classification. Now let's pull it all together into a practical checklist you can use anytime you need to explain something complex. This is your new game plan for total clarity.
But first, let's quickly go over the traps to avoid. Number 1, listing examples without explaining them. 2, using super shallow categories, like just sorting things into good and bad. That's not helpful. 3, creating categories that overlap and just confuse people. And finally, forgetting to actually connect your point back to your main idea.
So here it is, your roadmap. First, explain every single example. Show why it fits. Second, make sure your categories are distinct and don't overlap. Third, your categories should reveal a new insight, not just state something obvious. And finally, always connect back to your big idea. Show how every piece of evidence supports your main point.
So, I'll leave you with a challenge. You now have these two powerful tools, illustration and classification. So, what's one big, abstract idea you can take and make totally, undeniably clear for someone else, starting today?